For the last 13 years, I've made home in Xiquictayua,
Respirando vida.
a small Inuit community in Nunavut, Canada, which is part of the Baffin Island region.
Baffin Island, ¿qué tal?
I think the most beautiful part of the region is the sense of wilderness, how immense it is, and how nature is just infinite and grand and rough at the same time. Pachi and I had planned this expedition for a little while, and then last minute there was a life opportunity that made Violeta available for the trip.
Gracias, vida y naturaleza y amigas.
Pachi is an amazing human. She's the person who's climbed the most peak in Antarctica.
¿Está el viento? Un poquito de viento. Sí.
Violeta is a little bowl of life, full of energy, and she's a climbing machine. I was excited to get to know her in the context of an expedition. I think the whole mentality of our trip was not that we had to go to the top of one thing. We wanted to be guests to those gigantic mountains and see what they would let us discover and what they would not let us do.
Mini Asgard. Allá bien atrás, la puntita más lejana que se ve es una torre de la forma del Asgard. Y a unos 15 kilómetros de acá.
When you see that beautiful barrel shape, it was obvious. All three of us were like, oh, you have to try it. The first part of the trip, we're on glacier, so it's a mix of cold ice, but also very wet because it's summer and sunny, so everything is melting. So you're dealing with wet environment and slushy snow. A lot of rivers to cross on the ice.
¿Qué estás viendo? Descríbenme.
Es el acceso a Narnia.
The first attempt was day 4 of the trip. For the climbing part, it's a beautiful granite, but it's also a place that is an old granite that goes through a lot of melting and freezing, so there's a lot of loose rocks. It's a wild, dynamic mountain environment.
Estamos en la base de nuestro proyecto, el Mini Asgard.
We decided to try climbing it through its north face because most of it is sheer vertical with not many features on it.
Eso. ¿Cómo se ve, Viole? Estuve un poco asustada en algunos momentos cuando la roca estaba un poco suelta. Pero normal.
Acá sí nos metiéramos como esto.
That day was filled with a lot of learnings, I think. That was an opportunity to see how we would work making decisions.
Este lugar es como impresionante.
Bastante vertical.
¡Puerta libre!
At the top of the 4th pitch, what we saw ahead of us was a first 20 meters that looked climbable, then leading into something with way less featured, and eventually into some roofs. We were a mix of tired, a bit intimidated. The route was wet as well, so we collectively decided that we'd rather go back down and try something else. On the second attempt, the morning we woke up, the weather was fine. Some clouds and a little bit of wind, but nothing unusual. At that point of the trip, we felt like, oh, we can finish this.
Primera tormenta de escalada. No, mentira. Nuestra segunda tormenta de escalada en Baffin.
By the time the 3 of us were at the top of that first pitch, it was blowing sideways with some strong winds. We all know how the mountains are, so they also deserve the respect and acceptance of what the conditions are that day. We knew we wanted to try again if we had the opportunity.
Va a estar bueno para esquiar.
So we decided at the foot of the first pitch to leave all the gear so that we'd be ready to be super efficient, walk light to there, and then be ready to set up and climb. We we had a pretty high level of acceptance and also probably of experience of what storm and bad conditions are, to know that, you know, you can be sad and frustrated about it, or you can laugh about it and be prepared for doing the best when the conditions are right.
¿Qué tal el viento? Pachi, ¿me puedes contar un poco cuál es la técnica de montaña que estás ocupando en este minuto?
La cabeza afirma los poles. Es que estábamos muy confiadas de que venía ventana, no sé por qué.
On the final day, we woke up early. We were pretty tired and sore from being in the tent for so many hours, holding on to the poles, but we just wanted to give it all we had. We connected back to the top of the fourth pitch where we had finished the first attempt. We just decided to keep going and see. There were always some platform that appeared so that we could belay, so that we could reset. The sixth pitch, that's the roof pitch. Violeta went on for that one. She nailed it. There was a wet crack. That crack led onto two bigger roofs that we aided. That led to the next platform. We all rejoined there, and then there was one shorter pitch of scramble and then one last crack that got us to the top of Mini Asgard.
Tenemos una ruta muy linda. Una ruta muy linda, no tan fácil.
Y muy mojada. Y no tan fácil.
Mojada, sí.
There's a lot of gratitude when a mountain lets you explore it and reach its top. And then I think there was a big feeling of pride for me, seeing these two strong women around me.
¿Dónde estamos, chicas?
En la cumbre del Mini Asgard.
Feeling like the mountains are a place where we belong. At no point we cared about what grade would that route be. It was more how the process is going to be. Who wants to push themselves, who wants to take care of their fear and respect it. That space felt feminine and felt healthy and beautiful.